YouTube. Welcome once more to this video. Lastly, we reviewed we had the first look at the cab from the hard cab for the Mahindra Roxor, and this is from a company called Hard Cabs. Very solid hard cab. I was really intrigued. I was able to look at it from the outside, but today I got a chance to actually get the keys and get into the cab, start the engine, and check out the noise levels. So this cab is actually manufactured in the Czech Republic, as opposed to the other cab by Curtis Cabs that is sold as an OEM cab by Mahindra here for the Roxor. They recently came up with a four-seater version. So that's a look at the interior of the cab. You can see the mechanism that they have there for securing the top to the rollover protection system. And we'll continue with just taking a look at the roof. It's padded, so noise levels should be quite reduced when we start the engine. It's a mechanism I think it takes some getting used to, because I realize it's not just like a quick release lever you would find like I would say on a bicycle. Uh, you see, that's the padding you have on the roof. Very good quality padding. It's not bulging anywhere. It really sticks to the roof, conforms to the shape. Same thing on the sides. You have the nuts and bolts that are covered with that little plastic piece. Put the plastic piece on and you don't have to look at the hardware. And then you have a tilting front windshield, and it's got two positions. It's got where you have it cracked open just a little bit, then you have fully open where it is supported by those struts. um, it's recommended that when you have it fully open, you do not drive the vehicle, so the vehicle should be parked stationary. I believe you can drive it to a certain extent when you have the windshield at one of the other positions. When you have it at the other positions too, like partially open, you get very good venting. But if it's raining, the rain will just drip off the windshield without getting the occupants wet in the cabin. So there is partially open, as you can see, like that. So it's secured now and you can drive around at low speeds and you get good venting inside. That little top piece there, it felt like it was plastic. I'm not so sure, but it definitely felt like it was plastic. So I spent a few moments there trying to figure it out. And then you do that for both sides. Do that for both sides, and you have that grab bar on the windshield that you use to maneuver the windshield to a fully open or closed position. As you can see, very basic hardware, but it seems to work. Looking at it from outside, the construction seems impeccable, seems durable. You have the sliding glass on there. You have the door handle with the release mechanism at the bottom right there. So basic hardware, and it all seems very well constructed. Um, I don't know how they go about with the importation process, but I think it's pretty fast. Um, the door sounds solid when it's closed. It doesn't seem to vibrate or have a lot of slack or movement. You have those shoulder bolsters back there. You take them out, and if you look carefully, it comes pretty close to the cab, but it doesn't touch the cab, the metal there on the cab. So no problems with that. You wouldn't have to trim it or cut anything when you take off those shoulder bolsters from your Roxor to install the cab. So that's how the door opens. Simple mechanism. Jump out here. The doors are supported with a strut. For some people, they might find it kind of tough to shut the door, so you could also consider using less powerful struts. Maybe strut from a vehicle that's supposed to prop up the hood if it failed and you know it doesn't hold that much pressure anymore. That would definitely work. But these struts, they're gas filled and they're very tough. Sorry, I was trying to get the focus there just to show the gauge of steel used on the door. It is quite heavy gauge, good quality steel, heavy gauge, and you can see the rubber gasket that goes around the door. It acts like a very good sealant for noise and water, and I would believe also things like noise or other debris from the road. You have the sound deadening material, and the door makes a very satisfying sound when you shut it. One big thing you have to be careful with this: if you go like rock crawling or you take your vehicle off-road too much to extreme uh, conditions, this cab is made of steel and it's gonna add quite a bit of weight to the top of the vehicle. So you might be prone to roll over your Roxor if you take it off-road in extreme conditions. I believe the basic Roxor with just the rollover protection system, the standard one, has been tested to 40 degrees. So you can tilt it to 40 degrees before it rolls over, which is kind of extreme. But one thing to consider when you start putting all this weight up there and you take it to conditions where you could roll over, then that might happen sooner than you might expect. Also, cornering at high speeds with this heavy cab, you would have to be very careful, otherwise you could easily roll over your Roxor. So the door, like I said earlier, it comes keyed both sides. You saw some extra keys there. Those were for the spare tire, which is in the back. This particular model has the windshield defroster kit. So you hit the button and it pipes hot air towards the windshield. You could see before the cab was installed, it was just sitting there on the lot without anything, no roof, and it got some water into the cup holders. That underlines the importance of having some kind of cab or protection on your Roxor, because if you just allow everything to be out in the elements, it might last for a while, but I think you would end up with more damage because the Mahindra tower from which this is based out of has evolved over the years, and I believe they did not make provision for it to be exposed to the elements 24/7. That's the catch mechanism. It looks kind of sticks out like a saw thumb. So just be aware if you're going in and out of your rocks, so that's a potential catch point right there, and it sticks right out. So nothing crazy, but just one thing to be aware of. There's hardly any space behind the seats. I was just checking for clearance. It's not bulging, it's not touching the body, and you don't need to get that in case down the road you want to take off the cab and put your shoulder bolster there, then you should be good to go. Got your seatbelt, and installation time for this hard cab is about 2 hours for 2 men. That is at least what the manufacturer says it should take. Got two guys, it should take about 2 hours to have everything mounted. The price is pretty good. It's over about $4,000, whereas the cab from Mahindra is about almost $6,000. I believe $5,800. Big difference being that I haven't seen the one from Mahindra, but I think the big difference would be that this is constructed of steel and the one from Mahindra is constructed of aluminum. From what I have seen so far, the cab from Mahindra, it looks I haven't seen it in person. I've just seen pictures, but compared to what I see in front of me on this hard cab, it seems the one from Mahindra is the fit and finish doesn't look so good on the in pictures. So it's something I have to see in person. Check it out, and before I can draw any conclusive, say anything conclusive about it. But from what I'm seeing so far, the fit and finish on this cab you're watching right now, seems to be superior to the one from the OEM. So we start the engine up, and yeah, the noise levels just seem to be a little bit more or less the same as I would say on a regular Roxor, but you have a pronounced sense of the direction from where the sound is coming from. It seems to be coming from underneath the dash. Whereas if you have your regular Roxor, you hear the sound bouncing off buildings, off walls, off trees, and it seems to be coming more from the environment. That's for the optional windshield. It has a connector. So this cab actually comes with a harness. They have a very good wiring harness for, I believe, the windshield wipers and the windshield wiper washer, and I believe there's also one there for cabin heat, because this company also makes very good heaters for UTVs. So that was definitely noisy. You will be hard pressed to hold a conversation with this defroster running. So it's quite loud. But I guess if you need it, you need it. So I think it's a good product, especially for those living in colder areas. When you come into your Roxor and you have the frost on your windshield, you need something like that to clear up your window before you start driving. Other thing I really liked about this hard cab is that you have the sliding window. I've seen a prototype from another company, but they didn't have a sliding window for the driver and the passenger. Uh, so I think that's a very important feature. So, and the way everything comes together, if you look even the sliding windows, it's very professionally done. At some point, I believe I looked down there and I could see a gap right there. You can see that. Yep, there's a gap right there. It shouldn't be something terrible. You should be able to fill it up with some kind of foam, expanding foam, or whatever you have. But otherwise, everything else seems to seal up really good. It seems to seal up really good. Mm. Of course, final adjustment is up to the person installing. As you putting the panels together, ensure that you have adequate insulation, rubber gaskets in place, and everything comes together nicely. So for now, this cab is mostly shipped through the hard cabs dealership network. Chances are, if you have an agricultural implement vendor around your area, then you definitely can look it up, because most of them are listed as vendors with hard cabs. Besides Valini Sport and Marine, in Minot Bismarck, I believe Harley Davidson Fargo are also listed as vendors for this company. So if that's any you have your local Roxor dealer, I believe they can call them up and order your hard cab to be brought to your location where you pick it up. They will charge you for lift gate services. So if you don't have a means of getting the hard cap off the truck, they will charge you extra for that. And I believe also if you want it to be moved to a specific location, say at your home or at your job, wherever you are, they will also charge you for that. Very little space behind the seats once you install the cab. There's very little space. I believe if you have it in the all fully back position, you actually hit the rear of that cab. But it works. You pull it forward, you can have a little bit of space there to store maybe a bag or a small bag, backpack or something. And you know the Roxor seats, they don't tilt forward or back, so yeah, you wouldn't margin of maneuverability there is limited. So all in all, yeah, I think I really like the cab. Seems to work really good. Jump out, take a look. So when you have your door fully open, that's what it looks like. And this cab just matches so well with the rocks lined Roxor. Those cabs might be expensive, so while I was still at Valley Sport and Marine, just took the time off to look a little bit at some other UTVs they have over there. So look at this one, for example. It comes in focus. It's priced at 28,000, basically 29,000, and that's before taxes. That's a 2019 Polaris Ranger Crew XP 1000. But the thing I want to underline here, you see, on more mature platforms that have been around longer, you can see the windshield. I believe this actually has electric glass that goes down and up. Um, it just looks so much nicer and better integrated. The fit and finish is fantastic. That's DOT glass, and most guys up here north, they require the vehicles like that because it gets so cold in winter. That way they can use their UTVs all year round. Yeah, for the Roxor it seems a bit expensive and not yet mainstream, but if you absolutely need a cab, you can get your Roxor. I think they're down to about 13,000, 14,000 for the 2018s, and then for an additional 5 grand, you can put your cab, and right from the get-go you start using your Roxor year round. But these are more mature platforms, with dedicated teams that work to produce a complete product. So you can see as the open cab, but if you get a windshield, it just fits right there. And contrary to popular belief, yeah, some of these side by sides they're quite expensive, as you've just seen. 28,000 for a UTV that's powered by a CV drive, a CVT belt drive. Well, it has its place in the market. They're very light. They would float over mud or even snow. So that's a premium for certain people, farmers and others who don't want to tear up their land. Well, so that's the rocks up there with the cab. Thanks for watching.